Welcome to Home Dad Chat, brought to you by the National At Home Dad Network. My name is Brock,
My name is Danny.
and we are here to talk about life as stay at home dads. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
No, I don't want much. I even love handmade crafts made of macaroni. Come on now, you should know me. Times I might eat too much. No worry about my weight. Got the dad bod rocking on me. Sketches on my feet. Cargo shorts look good on me. I'm a dad, that's what I do.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the show. Also, welcome to season 5 of Home Dad Chat. Holy cow.
Right?
Here we
Yeah.
go.
And it's even more impressive because it's been practically every single week. I'm
Yep.
sure we've missed one at some point here or there, holidays and what have you, but man, it's not a big effort on like at this point. Like we just find the time to get together. Cool. And we just talk. We talk about something we're interested in. That's cool. But all that extra stuff that goes into producing a podcast, even though we're just doing really just the audio, and the production on the video is a little bit, here, take it as is, a little raw. Still
Yeah.
a lot of work involved in getting this going. So to do it every single week is really, I think it's a very positive thing. you know?
Yeah. I saw where somebody mentioned on TikTok, well, what could you give a 40-minute presentation without any preparation for? And I was like, immediately, it was like podcasting.
Mhm.
I could easily talk for 40 minutes about podcasting. So
Fatherhood, again,
definitely. Yeah.
definitely in your wheelhouse. Brewing beer, perhaps.
Maybe not so
Planning
much.
events,
I could
maybe.
stumble through that just like as if I had drank maybe like, 4 or 5 beers. Yeah, I mean, definitely things like that. Starting to get into more of stuff that deals with marriage is
Mhm.
a big one that's coming into play,
Mhm.
which I'm excited about. Because my wife and we've done some things in the past with marriage counseling and things like that, but uh actually looking into ministry stuff with marriage and families. And
Mhm.
I think a lot of times like churches don't really know what to do. They want to do something, they spread it out amongst all of their staff, but to have one person. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But I'm excited to just even be helping with planning a marriage seminar for a day. And I think that
Mhm.
that's something too that organizations and communities need to look into in general to
Mhm.
just help strengthen other families in the communities that are there. Because especially this time of year, holiday season can make it rough, family wise, marriage wise, it just this whole like 2 months, November, December, going into the beginning of the year, like it's an intense few months. I thought it was interesting. I saw where Thanksgiving is actually one of the most dangerous holidays of the year, is what I had seen. Because if you think about it, you have
Fighting,
people, there can be
traveling,
fighting. Yeah, there can be
bad food.
fighting. Yeah, all that stuff. And I thought about it and I was like, why is that? Why would Thanksgiving be that day? And Corey and I came to the conclusion that uh you're away from your extended family for months on end, with the summer and everything like that. And then Halloween hits and you sugar up your kids, and then you go into Thanksgiving, and if it's an election year, that just adds more fuel to the fire,
Mhm.
and it just causes this like perfect storm, and you get all kinds of things. And I was watching a medical show, and it was like one was where two kids were fighting over a toy, and the one kid pushed a kid through like a glass pane type of
Ooh,
deal. Like it was like like a glass like door type of deal.
yeah, Doria.
I mean, that kind of thing would happen. Like it was like very
Yeah,
like, yeah, I could see that happening.
yeah, and not
Or
any way, expecting that kid is overly aggressive necessarily, or
no,
granted, it was a bad decision, but it was more of a probably a passionate shove to somebody else, and they happened to do this thing. And like you said,
yeah,
as a parent, I think you I think you recognize that, yeah, sometimes kids just are not thinking at all. So
yep.
yeah.
And then when you're cooking food, some people don't pay attention to directions. Like for instance, you do not put a frozen turkey into a hot vat of grease. Like don't do it.
This is
uh,
bad.
it will not end well for you. That's another big one. Also, you're using different knives to cut turkeys and stuff, and it's very easy to slip and cut yourself. Yeah, that's another big one.
You know what won't explode and make a fire if you deep fry it? A steak.
Beef.
Yeah. Crazy.
Hmm. Look at you. Look at you. You figured out how to defy the odds.
I'm just pointing that out. I feel like it was relevant, but sorry, I didn't mean to
You
interrupt.
nonconformist, you.
Absolutely.
Man.
Absolutely.
And then the other thing is some people will start putting up their Christmas decorations. And in the episode that I was watching, a dude had, I think he had fallen not off the roof, like I forget what he was doing exactly, but he put one of the stakes in this like little plastic reindeer through his calf. I was like, ow, okay.
Ooh.
Like
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
buddy.
So, just all kinds of stuff along those lines.
Hmm.
If you're putting ornaments on Christmas trees, wear shoes so that you don't end up like Marv and have a bunch of glass in the bottom of your
Hmm.
feet.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, like all those things to say that, we're coming into the holiday season,
The
Thanksgiving is right
most
here
dangerous time of the
of the
year.
year.
It's perfect. That's a
Flamethrowers on high alert and food fights across the table. Give me some time. I could work up a whole
oh
song
yeah.
about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. And I think that the one piece of advice that I would give folks is set boundaries. Like have have
Nice.
have clear
Yes.
boundaries set. Work a game plan out with, your spouse, your partner, and your kids. Let them know. Like we have a plan for extraction if so
Yes.
necessary.
Yes. Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
seriously, like
Yes.
there's
Yeah.
there's absolutely no need to, to stay in a hostile environment.
Right. Right.
Is it
Yeah.
nice to see family? Sure, it's great to see family. Can family sometimes get, a little wiry? Yeah, they sure
Yeah.
can. And after you've maybe made your one or two attempts to say, "Hey, I don't really care to be a part of this conversation," or "Do we really need to talk about this right
Hmm.
now?"
Hmm.
You get the pushback, you're like, "Great, you can continue on your conversation. Me and my family, we're gonna head out."
We
Um,
go. Yeah. We're gonna go this way very
yeah,
fast.
like we love you, but at the
Yeah.
moment here, that's the biggest thing. It's like we love you, we're family. I want to love
Yes.
you, but at the same time too, like I don't feel like I'm loved right now. And instead of just completely burning the house down, I'm going to excuse myself from the situation because, and not to say this out loud, but I'm apparently more an adult than you are right at the moment. So,
An unfortunate truth a lot of times too.
yeah,
But I mean, especially, you know, in the areas of mental health, setting healthy boundaries is one of the most important things you can do. And that's in any relationship. That's with you and your extended family, but also with you and your partner, you and your friends, you and your children, even. Just an
yep,
understanding of this is where I stay healthy. You know, and I may
yep.
not be happy, I may not be joyful, I may not think about this is where I stay, where if you don't do this or you do this in this way, then we're both going to be, or we're all going to be much better off. So I love, love, love that recommendation. Set healthy boundaries.
Yeah. I don't think you need to get to the point of Clark Griswold, where you're like, we're gonna press on and have the happiest days since Danny.
Mm-mm.
Like that whole expression, because that's not doing anything. Like
No,
that's putting everybody else into this combustible sphere and just hoping for the best. And
right,
more times than not, like it's gonna blow up in your face. I
right.
think too, if you decide to eject from the family dynamic that's there and you're like, all right, we're done, you know try to come up with something maybe fun to do outside of it, like, especially if you've got kids or whatever and they're confused about what's going on. Maybe it's just one of those things where
Oh
you're like,
yeah,
it's nice, like, all right, we're gonna go to the park. more times than not, nobody's going to be there because they're all eating at Thanksgiving, and
Right.
that's fine.
They're suffering through their family.
Right. And also too, I mean, if they're little kids and you're like, hey, go play, like they're immediately going to forget what's going on. And at the
Yeah.
same time, it gives you a chance to maybe sit down with your partner and have the conversation about, you know, what happened, like decompress, get it
Hmm.
out, cry it out if you got to, hug it out if you got to, whatever it takes, but don't let that deteriorate what you want to make of this time of year. I
Hmm.
mean, some people are celebrating religious holidays, not everybody though, and some people just have, tradition of doing specific things, and there's a time and place for making your own traditions.
Hmm. And I will say, while you were talking, I wrote down, after you said healthy boundaries, I put traditions literally right then, because that's what would be my recommendation is do your family's traditions. We, I mean, I make steak. That's what our family decided we want to do. We don't want to do turkey, and nobody complains. I make a pretty good turkey, and honestly, if our oven was big enough to do a turkey, I probably would attempt. But even if it's Christmas cards, I think that's a great example, because I keep coming back to it in my family. I really want to send out Christmas cards, but I just don't have the framework to do it, and it would take way more effort.
Right.
So you don't get a Christmas letter. You probably don't get a Christmas card. Maybe we're gonna try. We don't do a Christmas photo again, because it just got so irritating to try to get everybody together and to smile, and that they're all dressed properly, and nobody gets messy stuff on their shirt. Nobody's wearing a gravy stain. It's really difficult, and it was taking the joy away from that part of our Christmas. And Marnie and I have talked about this previously, and had heard it somewhere. I don't remember where we originally got the idea, but just thought, we're better off if we just don't do this. I think the
Yeah.
people that like I will say, Brock, if you and Corey don't receive a Christmas card from Marnie and I, you're okay.
I'm
You're not
fine.
gonna, yeah, you're not gonna be, well, I guess Danny hates me. That is kind of a tradition, though, is that if you don't do these traditions, it's obviously because you don't love me. That older generation guilt thing that a lot of people do, you know. But pick your tradition. What's your
Yeah.
tradition for your family? That's you, your partner, and your children. Doesn't matter what anybody else does. We celebrate Wolfnut, and is the dorkiest holiday in the world, made up by some 8-year-old kid. We eat meat a lot, and we go out and howl at the moon. That's it. And I gotta tell you, in a brand new neighborhood, in a brand new state, already a weirdo, and stepping out on Wolfnut, which I think is the 23rd of November, and howling at the moon may have concerned some people, you know? And the next door neighbor works at the school. Actually, both of them do, but they're, with the school that I got kids at. So yeah, that's great. And there's no way in a small town. Everybody's like, wait, did you walk outside and just howl at the moon one night? Yeah, yeah, we do that. One night a
Hey,
year though.
we kept our clothes on though. I mean, we weren't running around
Right. We're
naked
not
doing it.
naked. Obviously, it's cold. We're not going to do that.
We didn't turn into wolves. It's okay.
Just right. Yeah, we didn't rip anything. We're just having fun.
Ah,
But
great
again,
teen wolf in the neighborhood now.
it's
Gosh,
right.
dang it.
Man, I thought we got rid of them. We got first we had
Start
werewolves, now we have
start surfing
werehouses.
on top of vans and we have issues.
Oh man, wow, that's a throwback. Wow. I had
Love-
forgotten about that. I had
Oh
forgotten
man.
all until you said it, and I could see him now.
Just don't
That's
forget your
awesome.
high tops. That's all.
Oh man, yeah. Oh god,
Michael
that was
Michael J.
hilarious.
Fox, man. They
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
besides Back to the Future, Teen Wolf, great
Mhm.
movie.
It is kind of, yeah, his claim to fame in a lot of ways, other than that series.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
But yeah, man, I mean, I think too, you think back to traditions and where they got started, when you're a kid, you're along for the ride, it's okay, this is what my parents are doing, like I'm going with them kind of deal. And
right.
for the most part, you're oblivious to what's going on when it comes to family politics and all that
Yeah.
craziness that's going on. Like your things are like, hey, I get to see my cousins. 2, I'm gonna get to play food. 3, I'm gonna get to eat all kinds of food and sneak in some junk food in there because
Hmm.
mom and dad aren't paying attention. So yeah, I'm gonna have a
Yep.
second piece of pie. Yeah.
Yeah. And grandma
And
and papa are paying attention and do want
right.
you to have
And
a second piece of pie.
and third, if you're or in fifth, actually, I think I'm up to, more than likely, if you celebrate Christmas, you're probably giving a Christmas list out or doing maybe some sort of Christmas gift exchange or whatever it is. But at the same time, too, you know, a lot of times people don't realize or want to think about it, those families members start to fade away. Like
Hmm.
they start to pass away. Maybe they make the decision that they have their own traditions to do. I could remember very vividly, like some of my aunts and uncles making their own traditions and not being around as often, and understanding. Like for me, I was like, oh, okay, that's their choice. They're going to be around for this, and we make some different changes. Okay, we're not all going to meet on this one day. Maybe we need to make it the week before type of deal so that they can also have their thing. And
Hmm.
that's one of
Yes.
the things when Corey and I got married, we started talking about all of that. And, we made it a thing that on Christmas, we want to be home for Christmas. We want to do our own thing for Christmas, just like when we grew up. Like we were home for Christmas with our mom and dad and our siblings. And
Hmm.
we want that for our kids. So we just made it a point. We're not traveling on Christmas. People want to come visit us, great, but we're
Yeah.
not going anywhere. And Thanksgiving, maybe we'll go see family, or maybe we'll just stay here and we'll just invite people into our house. Like, I feel like one of the things that's really been eye-opening to me, like there's this Friendsgiving that goes on a lot of times, and which is really cool. But even more than that is inviting people in your community that you've had connection with that maybe are like they don't have any other family around,
Right.
or I just recently met three students from I think they're from Japan that go to our church, and they're here in town at UC learning English so
Hmm.
that they can go on to do these professional jobs. And they don't have any family.
Hmm.
They probably don't even know Thanksgiving tradition, honestly, because
Oh
they're
yeah.
from Japan.
Right.
But they're going to hear about it, and it's the idea that, I guarantee somebody in the church is going to invite them over to their house, be like, hey, come over here. And, one, it's like, it's a great opportunity for you to like get some practice in learning how to
Hmm.
talk in English and learn different slangs and whatnot. But at the same time, too, like, try some of these like very interesting cultural foods of the of the United States. Even that's different too, based on
Hmm.
what kind of ethnicity is the family is and all that kind of, so there's all kinds of different dynamics. I think it's a great opportunity to just have this like melting pot
Yes.
Thanksgiving and just
That's
being
the word I
thankful
was
for the
thinking of.
year. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Exactly.
and I think too, like, a lot of times this is kind of funny, but I had a friend that he was like, you can't start celebrating Christmas until you've given thanks for what has happened for the year type of deal.
Sure.
And like that's his thing. Like he doesn't put anything
Hmm.
Christmassy up or whatever until then. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, that's one way to go about it for sure. It
Hmm.
works for some people. But just,
Oh
that whole
yeah.
idea of how do you want to do it?
Right. And our tradition is to do it the day after Thanksgiving. That's when we generally put up the tree. Everybody's home. We're not going to go Black Friday shopping or anything. So we're there. And, Marnie was always off work and the kids were always there. We would just put the tree up and it was a great thing. This year, I might be putting it up this week. I'm just I'm ready.
Yeah,
We have lights on that we leave up all year round, and they're the programmable ones, so they can do all sorts of things. So we had a Halloween, you know, theme. The lights were like purple and green and orange or something. It was very cool looking.
that's
And
cool.
then now we've got a Thanksgiving one, which is more golds and like a light brown, kind of light color. So it's not, the overwhelming blinky, oh my God, what's going on? See it from space, but it's something because when you come home and it's always dark when you come home now. I'm
Yes,
just gonna say it's
it
crazy.
is.
I still and
Yes.
every year I still like this is no big deal. I've done this before, and then I'm like, what? How is it dark outside? It's 4. It's 4:23. Yesterday I decided to set my light timer back from 5:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. because then like the kids coming home like we got volleyball today and we're coming home with volleyball and the lights won't be on yet
Yeah.
and it's pitch black. So, but anyway, they asked me, they said, when are we putting up the Christmas tree? And they're very excited to do it because it is such an amazing thing. And we have so many ornaments and, just things we've had together. And I said, well, we don't do that until after Thanksgiving. And then I made a note, talk to Marnie. Maybe we'll just do it this week. I do have to get them out of the attic anyway. I want to get them down before it gets really cold and,
Right.
that way I don't have to go out there. But just why not? again, maybe that's what we want to do this year. Maybe that's what we want to do every year. Maybe after Halloween, we put up our Christmas decorations. I really hope not. I really
Yeah.
hope not, because on Halloween, there were no Halloween decorations left. Or no, there was candy, but you have to go find it. No mask, no costumes, nothing at
Wow.
three of the stores I went to, but they all had Christmas stuff.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like,
Oh yeah.
not even Thanksgiving. We're just gonna jump straight to all right, let's go. Yeah.
Yeah, the amount of stores that you walk into on Halloween night that have Christmas stuff on one side, Halloween on the other
Right.
side. I mean,
Yes.
it's not just knocking at the door. It's like kick the door down, we're
Mhm.
here.
We're here and ready to go. Yeah. It's just, it's great though, again, because Christmas can bring so much joy. Thanksgiving can bring so much joy. Do I want it starting the day after Halloween, the day of Halloween? No, but I think that's just me being stuck in my ways,
Yeah.
and just being wanting to, no, we don't start Christmas until, well, what day do you start Christmas? We do it the day after Thanksgiving. Other people tell me that's too early, you know?
I I uh I can't listen to Christmas music until Thanksgiving. Like on Thanksgiving Day,
Mm,
sure, the house can have Christmas music in it. I'm totally fine with that. Uh,
my
but
brother.
and I'm talking like classic stuff. Like, I'm talking like the Bing Crosby,
Grandma
like
got run over by a reindeer. Yeah.
maybe not so much that. That's actually like that's Christmas Eve. That's Christmas Eve.
That does
Uh,
have its specific place when you've had enough
it
eggnog
it does
to really
exactly.
appreciate
Exactly, yeah. I miss sitting beside my great grandmother listening to that song and just laughing,
Oh, nice. Yeah.
while drinking eggnog actually beside her. Um,
Nice.
but no, I mean, just having that moment of, all right, like this is the time to start, can listen to Christmas music, but at the same time, there are stations that I have to avoid while listening maybe to the radio or whatever because they think it's great to actually put Christmas music on at the start on Halloween, and you're like, no, no, like
Yeah. It's a little
drives me
too early.
bonkers. I'm
Yeah.
like, don't do that. Just don't.
I, again, didn't grow up with Christmas or Christmas music, but I heard songs, of course, and like Silent Night, as an example, was a song that it would come on and we wouldn't listen to it, right? I mean, we would change, we were anti-Christmas, and it is what it is, right? Religion's crazy. So I'm not trying to say this is the way anybody else needs to live. It's not the way I live anymore, but it's how we were right in that time.
Yeah.
And years later, being able to listen to those, like you said, those classic songs, and they really just touch you, hit you in a way that nothing else does.
Yeah.
Um, and they're
Definitely.
now for me, and I've said this before, I don't choose the soundtrack playing in my head. Songs come in and they just start singing them, and I can't help it, right? I don't know where it came from, but always Christmas music makes me happy. It does.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
agree, like I don't want to hear it on the radio. I don't mind hearing it in my head or even singing it in the car, but I don't want to turn on anything this early in the year and it be playing Christmas music. It's not time. I agree with that 100%.
Right. Yeah. No, definitely.
You got to wait. Give us a month. It's not that big a
I,
deal.
apart from Christmas music, the other thing as far as the holidays go are Christmas movies. Uh,
Mm,
in all of the like just in holiday movies in general. I think there are some movies that you could categorically say like, is this a holiday movie or not? Like, the conversation of like, is Die Hard a Christmas movie or not? Yes.
yeah. Yeah.
It art is
Ho ho
grim.
ho, Blanker. Obviously, you wouldn't say that any other time of the year. It's a Christmas movie.
Right? Yeah. Or Gremlins, the first one.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's a Christmas. The
I could
Mogwai is
argue
a
that.
Christmas
Yeah,
present.
it is
Like
absolutely. Yeah,
that's another one. Of course,
Mogwai.
the Home Alone movies are. I think that National Lampoon. I think probably the best. There's so many quotes in National Lampoon. I'll ask
Yeah.
Corey a question, and she'll be like, "I don't know," and I'm like, "I don't know, Margot. Why is the floor wet?" Oh, but yeah, just there's so many good Christmas movies out there.
There are. There's a lot of horrible Christmas movies, by the way. There's some really hilarious. There is a movie out on it's on Netflix, and it's called Frosty, I think.
Oh
Oh, I've
no,
forgotten it,
sexy,
but
the
it's
sexy Frosty. Is that the
Sexy
one?
Frosty or something. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
And someone
Oh my
recommended it to us
gosh.
where the well sculpted snowman comes to life because she gives it a scarf, and it's delightful because he's actually a snowman. People in the movie say yes, he's a
He's a
snowman.
man made out of
He
snow,
he
I think is
is,
the
and he
best way to put
starts
it.
to melt, and it is so. And he's like, I've never done anything, I've never done this before. And he's looking at his fingers, like, oh my God, I have fingers, and it's horrible, let me say, but it is delightful as
Of
well.
course.
It
Well, in
is
this age of
just
spicy
perfect.
romance books being so popular out there for people to read, like it makes total sense that somebody would put this together
Mhm.
and release it.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm just gonna say it's smut. I appreciate you saying romance, but it's smut. I've learned this.
It's
I
spicy,
used to
man. It's
think
spicy.
growing up there were romance novels around, and I assumed, like even with my first wife, I assumed it was just a romance. No, no, it's smut. Just hands down smut. Just dirty, dirty things going on in these. And I'm like, Marnie, I can't, She goes, yeah, my mom recommended it to me. And I'm like, oh, see, you didn't have to do that.
You didn't have to go
You
there.
didn't
Just
have
say
to do
somebody.
that.
You
Could have
don't
been
have to like
fine,
don't name
right?
names.
Just don't name names. Don't out people like that, Marnie.
I don't
You
need to
don't need
have
to.
that.
It's. I know it
No,
happens, but I don't need to think about it
oh
happening.
shoot.
But yeah, but you're right. There, just to have a simplistic story too, because Sexy Frosty or whatever it is just very, very simple. You're
Sure.
not looking for anything beyond exactly what you're getting. There are some very interesting comedic moments with a couple of stars singing and playing the keyboard,
Yeah.
and other things going on. But it was hilarious because a friend recommended it, and we were sitting there. It must have been last Friday when I'm like, "Let's see what it is." And we sat through the whole thing and was just like, I cannot believe we just spent that much time watching this movie. But it was fun. It was light. It had no real message, no
Yeah.
real, heavy anything in it. It's like, no, he's a man made out of snow, and he loves her.
It's a what if type
It
situation.
is, yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Nice.
It's the Christmas version of what if instead of the Marvel version.
That's great.
I mean, if you think about it too, I mean, there was back in the day the movie Jack Frost, I think is what it was called, where a snowman, I think it was Dennis Quaid actually, like it's a snowman that melts and Dennis Quaid's there or something like that, or I don't remember what it was exactly. There's been different variations of what that what that movie is depicting and what it's doing, but just
Hmm.
a little more wholesome, I guess you would say. But I
Yeah.
think that it's all entertainment, it's all fun, and that's the point of it. And this time of year, it's like grab some hot chocolate, grab some popcorn, sit down, and have a good time watching it. I know that for me, like when I was single, and I'd be home for Christmas. Typically Christmas Eve, I would just basically movie marathon, watching all kinds of just
Yeah.
different movies that were on, and all the different holiday movies. Binge watch Home Alone 1 and 2,
Hmm.
skip the rest of them because they don't count.
And I
Uh,
think I think we should have an honorable mention because my kids watch this every year. They ask for it if the school isn't playing it. And I find it delightful and joyful and very creepy. And that
oh,
is the Polar Express.
oh, okay. I didn't know you were going that way. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, right. And it is, I love it. It's every stupid part of it. I love it. And but I mean, the people looking at you and the CGI, I guess, or animation they use to create these kids that are looking at into your soul because
Tom
they don't
Hanks played
have one.
so many parts.
Yeah,
So
right.
many parts.
And the songs are great. And like, Caribou was one of my favorite lines. And I don't know why it's the stupidest line ever, but yeah. And then you've got this guy pulling on his beard to honk the caribou out of the way. And it's just, how did we get here? But my kids love it. And even the older kids still want to watch it. I mean, they do kind of groan a little bit, of course, but I honestly think in 20 years, when they have kids and everything and they've got their traditions, I'm going to go to their house and they're going to be watching the Polar Express and they're going
Yeah.
to be doing it with a smile, you know, because
This
even how kind of really, I mean, it's kind of off-putting the way they look at you, but all of it is just such a thing that I think we formed a tradition around, you
Oh
know.
yeah. Well, the
That's going to be
Cincinnati
what they
Zoo,
want to do.
they do the
Mhm.
Festival of Lights, and
Mhm.
at the Festival of Lights, they have a theater there, and they do 4D movies throughout the year and stuff. But for this time of year, they have Polar Express in 4D, and it's pretty wild because like I
What's
didn't
4D?
4D is like actual elements being involved in the process of
No.
watching it. So, for instance, when it starts snowing, like there is actual like artificial snow that starts falling. It's like soap or something. I'm not sure what, but starts falling from the ceiling. And it's just wild.
Mhm.
Or when they have the hot chocolate where they're, that whole scene where they're dancing,
Hot, hot, hot.
just
Yeah.
yeah, like there's just pumped in like this hot chocolate smell into the room, just
Oh, wow.
so it's really cool while you're watching it. So like it's not so much you're wearing 3D glasses or anything like that. You're not doing any of that. It's that you're just basically getting the other elements.
Mhm.
So it's like that
Yeah.
smell-o-vision type
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
So it's really
That's
cool
very
though.
cool.
Yeah, yeah. And I was I was watching or listening to, actually. I don't know if I told you this or not, but I was listening to the Pop on Culture podcast that
Mhm.
that Phil and his buddy do, and Phil, I think it's Zimmerman.
It is
Um
Zimmerman, and I don't know his buddy's name either.
I can't remember it, but
Sorry, buddy.
sorry.
Sorry, Phil's friend. Oh,
Phil's friend,
God.
yeah.
Hey, you're
But
Phil's
still,
co-host. Neat.
they talked
Oh,
about how they went and seen the SpongeBob SquarePants, or no, or sorry, it was Sonic. They went and saw Sonic the movie in 4D, and the chairs in the theater moved, and they had bought a hot dog for their kid. Like everything started moving, and they're like, "Nope, you're not eating this hot dog. I don't need you
yeah.
choking. We don't need a Field of Dreams moment here while
Yeah.
watching
Right.
Sonic the
Yeah.
Hedgehog." But yeah, those are just kind of fun experiences to have with a movie. So, yeah, and I think sometimes people that's part of their tradition too. You know,
Hmm.
what do you do on Thanksgiving? Well, in the evenings, go to the movies.
Hmm. Yeah. And again, whatever works for your family,
Yeah.
or your chosen family too, which is something I want to talk about as far as what we have planned for
Ah,
our own personal Thanksgiving.
yeah, yeah.
We probably will always, at least for a while, we'll go somewhere else. We'll go meet with somebody. We'll go to their house, go to Marnie's family's houses or something, and we'll cook there. We don't really have what we'd love to be able to cook like that here. So if we have people over, it's only going to be two or three, and that's what we've done this year. I've invited two people two individuals, and both can't make it. One is a thing of distance, and the other is basically he couldn't leave his dog for that long that it would take him, if we didn't pick him up. And miss you both, and y'all know who you are if you're listening to this. But so I went to the people I know locally that are part of my chosen family now, and in one of the support groups I go to, and then also just another dad who works with the university and what have you, and he's gay and he has a transgender child. So we hit that off, and we had those things in common. And just looking at people around us, I'm like, do you have plans? And why
Yeah.
don't you come over? We're not having turkey. We're probably not have like cranberry stuff or anything. We're gonna have this, and this. And I haven't had anybody go, ew, steak. I do have one friend who's a vegetarian, so I am going to figure out something amazing to serve him, I hope. But I've never cooked vegetarian, so other than like vegetable dishes, but like for a main dish. Um, but we're gonna stay home, and we're
Yeah.
gonna, I'm gonna go get Fabian, bring him in from college, so he's gonna be with us, and then just spend time, definitely being grateful for what
Yeah.
we have, definitely looking for what's the silver lining of our life right now.
Sure.
And I think
Yeah.
that's very important to do with your friends. So
Yeah. No, I
that's
like
us.
that. Oh yeah. I was looking up while you were talking too, some of the different movies that are going to be available Thanksgiving weekend.
Hmm.
Uh, And honestly, it's probably one of the better lineups in quite a while for movies. You got Wicked is out.
Hmm.
Uh, the big one, Moana 2. I know my kids are super pumped about that one.
Yeah.
The one that I'm not looking forward to watch. Well, I'm interested in it, but I'm ready for just mass failure for it is Gladiator 2 because that's a high
Uh,
bar. That's a really high
yeah.
bar. Gladiator original was fantastic.
But
Red
it's
one,
been out for a very long time.
it has, but the classics never die.
That's true, but it's been out. It was 24 years ago.
Oh my
I
gosh.
think they should have just made another Gladiator movie. Just not two, just we're doing Gladiator again.
Mm,
No,
yeah.
no connection. But that's just me. But again, awesome movie. And no, it's not going to be as good.
No.
It
It's
hopefully will be good in its own way, you know.
yeah,
Not to
yeah. I
we don't compare. It's like this is what this is standalone movie, hopefully. We'll see. Anyway, I
definitely.
didn't mean to interrupt you. What else?
No, you're fine.
Red one, were you talking
Red,
about?
yeah, Red One, which Red One, I mean, you got The Rock, you got Chris Evans is in there.
J. Jonah Jameson
Yep,
is the
like
big man himself.
just just a really good cast of, action hero style people. So that one's gonna be cool. Venom's kind of coming into its last bit of time there, which I'm just waiting for that to come to streaming personally,
Hmm.
because I enjoy those.
Yeah, I love
Um,
Tom Hardy and I like Venom a lot. So
yeah.
I agree.
And I think that's pretty much it, really. That's out. Well, there is also I haven't seen any previews for this. The best Christmas pageant ever. I don't know anything about that. Apparently, they're going to re-release Elf into the theaters. I see.
That's cool.
Um, which
I
to
can get
me,
on
I'm
that.
like, I feel like everybody's got a sound, pretty decent TV with sound. Like watching Elf at home is
Some of us still haven't ever seen it, so maybe at the theater would be a great idea.
what?
I keep telling myself to watch it, and every year something comes up, or nobody. You know what I need to do? I need to put it on that list because what I try to watch it with the kids every time, and I think that's where I fail because they have seen it, and there'll be something else on. They're like, "Well, could we watch?" I don't know, like Wild Robot whenever it comes out. Of the two, they'd watch Wild Robot. We've never seen it, right? So I think I need to put it on that short list of things I watch when the kids and wife aren't home, or aren't in
Heck
the room at
yeah.
least, and just watch it because it's
Listen,
I have no good reason. I have no
get
excuse.
make yourself some spaghetti, go buy some chocolate Pop Tarts, and have yourself some maple syrup nearby. You're gonna need those things to watch the
What?
show. If you know,
No.
you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
You'll
know.
find out soon enough.
Maple syrup and chocolate Pop Tarts, you said? Is that what you said?
Chocolate Pop Tarts,
And
maple syrup,
spaghetti.
and spaghetti. Yep.
Okay. All right. Maybe not, but okay. Yeah. I don't know what we're doing here. I feel attacked. No, I will watch it. Should say I will try to watch it because I don't know what's going to happen from between now and the end of the year. There's so many things going on.
And
But
you drink coffee, right?
mhm.
Yeah. So and you got to go find your world's best cup of coffee as well. So that's the other. That's the other.
Okay, okay.
That's all
I
I'm gonna tell you. Those are all elements of the movie.
all right, all right. Well, I'm a cheap date for coffee. I like Maxwell House, and I don't have any great experience with it. So yeah, we're fine. We'll be
that
okay.
that could pass for a world's greatest cup of coffee in this case.
I enjoy it. Oh, could it? Okay. I'm looking
It
forward to hearing
could.
that story.
It definitely could. Yeah.
All right. Good to
Oh
know.
man.
Good to know.
But I hope that everybody has an enjoyable Thanksgiving. Like I said, definitely set boundaries. I can't stress that enough. Um, Also, too, have maybe somebody in line to be able to text or call that you can just be like, right now, I am not happy, not in a good place. I'm, like I just need to talk to somebody. I've told people many a times, hey, if you need to talk, I'm more than willing to step away from my family for a few minutes to text you or call you and give you some time to just get it off your chest.
Hmm.
And I think that I've had a few dads over the years take me up on that. And I really just, that's my way of being a support. I know not everybody has like solid family lives, and I feel very appreciative to have a pretty solid family. So I have no problem stepping away from my folks, my family. They understand. They get my love and my passion for being there for others. So, but I think that just as a kind of a last little tip is to, make a connection with somebody that you can be like, hey, like if I need to talk to somebody, and it's the difference between me blowing up on family members and getting the chance to just talk and calm down a little bit, can I contact you, kind of thing. And then whoever that person is, if you're that person that, like me, like you're a support person, like make sure that you have your spouse, your partner on the same page, so that they understand when you walk away to take care of that. It's not a like, oh, I don't want to be here anymore. Like you're actually doing something. And I think there's a lot to be said by having that preparation in place.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I got. So we talked some turkey. It's all good.
I get it.
Well, gobble gobble. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Beef Day.
Yes, Wolf Newt.
Wolf Newt. Yeah, go howl at the moon. Listen to Steppenwolf while you do it, maybe.
I'm hoping we can. I don't think I think my teenager refuses this year because the next door neighbor was his teacher last year. And he goes, I'll lose all credibility if I stand out there and howl at the moon. I'm like, you have no credibility.
I was gonna say, I bet you lost credibility way long ago.
Right. You're my kid. You got nothing. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to go to a completely different community and divorce yourself from the belief that, or the idea that you're with me, and don't ever let me come over, because I will absolutely talk to your kids or your neighbors too much.
Exactly.
What to do?
Anyway. All right. Well, talk to you all next week. You have a good one.
Good night, everybody.
I'm a dad, that's what I do.